Today we're pulling back the curtain on the untold reality of Hollywood's most famous families. Will and Jaden Smith, 21. At 21, Will was filming Fresh Prince while secretly hiding a massive, crushing tax debt that nearly ended his career before it even started. Jaden, at 21, he's busy building his own brand from the ground up, away from the sitcom mold. Honestly, I think Will was fighting for physical survival, while Jaden is fighting for intellectual freedom. He gets too much hate for being himself in a world that wants him to be a clone. Johnny Depp and Lily Rose, 18. At 18, Johnny was living in a van, totally broke, chasing a dream that felt impossible to everyone but him. Lily Rose, at 18, she was already a global Chanel muse. The truth? She grew up with paparazzi documenting her dad's most chaotic moment. The lawsuits, the addiction, and the constant noise. That is a level of trauma that all the money in the world can't fix. J-Lo and M.A., 17. Before she was a global icon, J-Lo was almost broke, auditioning for backup dancer roles just to pay rent. Emmy is growing up under the crushing 24/7 weight of the J-Lo brand. The pressure to be that kid, to carry the family name, is a level of stress most people couldn't imagine surviving for a single day. David and Cruz Beckham, 17. David was training 6 hours a day at 17, obsessed with being a machine on the pitch to provide for his future. Cruz is a multi-instrumentalist who seems to prefer the quiet of art over the roar of fame. From where I'm standing, David had to be a robot just to survive the pressure, while Cruz is lucky enough to just be an artist. Meryl Streep and Mamie, 26. Meryl almost quit acting entirely because producers told her she was too ugly for King Kong. She fought through that rejection to become the GOAT. Mamie has that same inner steel. She's a better character actress than the industry gives her credit for, but she's constantly fighting that Meryl shadow every time she steps on a set. Jack and Ray Nicholson, 32. Jack famously found out his sister was actually his mother when he was 37. That kind of identity crisis changes a man forever. Ray at 32 has that same dark, enigmatic smirk, but he's playing it way more low-key than his dad ever did. He's consciously avoiding the Jack trap. Denzel and John David Washington, 29. Denzel was working in a post office, just trying to make ends meet before the fame hit. John David had a career-ending football injury that forced him to start over from zero. I've got to respect the grind here. He didn't get a handout. He had to rebuild his whole life from scratch in a new industry. Demi Moore and Rumor Willis, 25. Demi at 25 was already an it girl in St. Elmo's Fire, living under a microscope. Rumor had to grow up with the world dissecting her parents' divorce on every tabloid cover. She's worked harder than anyone just to be seen as Rumor, not just as Demi's kid. Cindy Crawford and Kaya Gerber. Cindy was the original supermodel, an icon in a pre-internet world. Kaya is living the Instagram reality. It's clear to me that Cindy was an icon in a world where you could be mysterious, while Kaya deals with 24/7 online scrutiny that Cindy never had to touch. Cindy Crawford and Presley Gerber. The perfect family image has cracks, and that's the reality. Presley has had his own struggles with the law and public perception. It proves that even the golden kids of Hollywood aren't immune to the immense pressure of living up to a famous name. Kris and Kendall Jenner. Kris was a flight attendant before she built the biggest media empire in history. Kendall didn't build the machine. She was born into the engine. She's never known a single day of her life without a camera in her face, and that changes how you view the world. Kim Basinger and Ireland Baldwin. Kim was a total recluse at the height of her fame because she couldn't handle the heat. Ireland has been brutally honest about her mental health battles. Personally, I think she's the most real person on this list. No mask, just the raw truth. Christy Brinkley and Sailor Brinkley Cook. Sailor grew up watching her mom hold on to relevance in a brutal, aging industry. She knows better than anyone that you have to be more than just a pretty face to survive in this town for the long haul. Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, 24. The ugly truth? They were rivals. Both were massive stars. Both craved the spotlight, and both felt the pinch when the other was succeeding. Hollywood families aren't always fairy tales. Sometimes it's a cutthroat competition. Carrie Fisher and Billie Lourd. Billie had to mourn an icon while the whole world watched and analyzed her grief. That kind of pain? You don't get over it. You just learn how to carry it. She's way tougher than she looks. Kurt Cobain and Frances Bean, 22. Kurt never really got to be a dad. The machine of Nirvana and the weight of the world just swallowed him whole. Frances is the one who broke that cycle. That is real power. Courtney Love and Frances Bean, 28. Frances was born into a riot. She's the literal survivor of that whole grunge era, and her staying sane and grounded is the ultimate act of rebellion against her upbringing. Donald and Kiefer Sutherland, 31. Kiefer spent the 90s as a wild card, desperately trying to escape Donald's intense shadow. He had to burn his career to the ground and rebuild it from the ashes to get the respect he has now. Mick and Georgia May Jagger. Mick is immortal. He's been at the top for 60 years. Georgia May didn't need to make it in the traditional sense. She was born into the legend. She's turned that Jagger swagger into a career of her own. Ben and Jerry Stiller, 38. Ben's comedy is all about the pain of being awkward. Jerry's was about the pure absurdity of life. Same DNA, two totally different, brilliant ways of coping with a world that doesn't make sense. Susan Sarandon and Eva Emery. Susan is a political firebrand. Eva is all about the family grind. They're opposite poles, and I respect that they don't try to fake a perfect relationship for the cameras. Daniel Day-Lewis and Gabriel Kane. You can't be the son of the world's most intense method actor and expect to have a normal life. It's an impossible shadow to stand in. Everything you do is measured against a genius. Jeremy and Max Irons. Max is the rare guy who turns down big, easy blockbusters just to stay independent. Most people would sell their soul for those roles, but he doesn't want the fame. He wants the craft. Ewan and Clara McGregor, 26. The way I see it, Clara had to work twice as hard to get the respect that her dad got for free. That's the real generational shift, earning your own seat at the table. There it is, the legends and the shadows they cast. Does the legacy make them or does it break them? Drop a comment, I'm reading them all. Thanks for staying real with me. See you in the next one.